Hand with a boxer cutter. I shouted for help, but nobody helped me.
Noel is still unsure what motivated the attack.
Kumusta kayo lahat? I hope that you're all doing fine, and today I'm gonna review or react to a very serious topic. So please, you need to watch this. See, it's unbelievable what's going on in the States. Asian hate crimes are rampant in the US right now. They're killing Asians, they're attacking them. What's going on in America? This has got to stop. You need to watch this.
I shouted for help, but nobody helped me. So I put my hands on my face. I saw the blood oozing.
Did you see how his face has been slashed and cut? This gotta end. This gotta stop.
Pacific Islander Americans are facing a surge of attacks in the US. The rise in violence has sparked fear within the AAPI community. We went to New York City, where police data shows there's been a 1,900% increase in hate crimes against Asians.
1,900% Asian hate crime increase rate. This is crazy. Well, there's always been hate crimes and racism against Asians ever since the US was founded, which is also completely crazy. But right now it's spiraling out of control in a modern society as we live in today. This should not happen. This is unbelievable.
Asian piece of shit.
Racism against Asian Americans isn't new. So what is causing the rise of attacks?
Do we know if all of these attacks are racially motivated?
We do not know that,
Okay.
but look, they are unprovoked.
Yes.
Rallies have been held across the country to highlight the urgency of the issue.
Justice for Asians!
This is a story of how Asian Americans are finding solidarity in one another despite a wave of attacks.
Oh my God.
所以我的心里很不高兴，我一想到他们，我的心就放下一点。
We will be invisible no more. We will speak up.
Yeah.
And we say that we are American too.
Yes. But this is really crazy because actually when you think about it, Asians is such a big part of the USA. Without the Asians, America as we know it today would not exist, especially Filipinos and Chinese. The Filipinos were actually some of the very first Asians to arrive in the US before it became the USA. With the galleon trade between Manila and Acapulco, Filipinos entered what is today the USA. It used to be the Spanish America. And of course, Filipinos spread all over in America. Actually, when Los Angeles was founded by 44 citizens and 4 soldiers, there was at least one Filipino among the very first original settlers of Los Angeles City.
You're looking at the face of a
That's
Filipino
Noel.
American man who was slashed while standing on a train to work.
Oh my
That
goodness.
was Wednesday, February 3rd.
Okay.
And
So just this
about
year.
8 o'clock, I was at the L train. I stood there quietly. A man came and I stood beside me. He started kicking my bag.
Why?
He came towards me. I thought he's going to punch me. But when I didn't feel anything, I saw his hand with a boxer cutter.
Yun,
I
yung cutter.
shouted for help, but nobody helped me.
Oh my
Noel
goodness.
is still unsure what motivated the attack. The police have not called it a hate crime.
Really?
I don't know if it is because of Benny. I really don't know because I'm Asian.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Unbelievable. I mean, look, he's been slashed from one side of his face to the other side with a cutter. You know those you use to open boxes? They're so sharp, they're actually really dangerous. I mean, how can this guy be so calm after what happened to him? I would be nervous to go out of my door now, taking the train again, you know? Wow. Why would somebody do this?
So sorry. Well, I am full, but it's not just like me.
Yeah.
If it's just me, it's okay. But I
No.
also live with other people. No.
Still not
Noel
okay.
considers himself lucky. He's mourning for the victims who have not survived, like this 84-year-old Thai man who died 2 days after an attack on his regular morning walk.
That was also this year in January. 84-year-old guy from Thailand who lives in the US attacked. Why would anybody do this? Not only, I don't know. What's going on in this world?
Since the outbreak of COVID-19 in 2020, more than 2,800 self-reported accounts of violent and
That's
non-violent
a lot.
anti-Asian hate were recorded by a rights group.
What the heck?
It's widely believed the spike in racist attacks is due to Donald Trump's
Yeah.
rhetoric on coronavirus.
Yes.
But the reality is more complicated than that. It's difficult to pinpoint one root cause for the surge in attacks, but some say a combination of the rhetoric blaming Asians, particularly during the pandemic,
What is
along
wrong with
with
that
the
guy?
ease of recording and sharing these attacks, has
My
contributed
goodness.
to making the issue more visible. We spoke to Representative Judy Chu, who says racism against Asians in the US goes far beyond Trump's presidency.
Yeah.
Of course, we have a very long history in
That
this
is true.
country, going
Oh,
all the
look.
way back to the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882.
Right.
It was the first legislation to bar immigration of an ethnic group.
Unbelievable.
Yet Asian Americans have played an indispensable role in
Correct.
building the country.
The Chinese Americans were responsible for the transcontinental railroad from the West
Yeah.
Coast to Utah. But now we see that Asian Americans of all backgrounds are essential workers. They are the ones that are on the front lines of the COVID-19 response.
To combat
Yes, especially Filipinos, right? I mean, there are nurses and doctors all over the USA. Without them, these people would not, they would not be saved, right? How can you commit crimes against them? How can you attack them? Whoever's doing this should back down and say thank you to those Filipino nurses and doctors in the US.
the recent crimes, New York City
Okay.
created an Asian hate crime task force.
Great.
But many say more policing is not the answer.
Okay.
This is how a younger generation of Asian Americans are responding to their elderly who are in fear. Dozens of Asian restaurants and volunteers come together every Wednesday to
Okay.
gather thousands of food packages.
That's a good idea.
It actually started because my girlfriend and I were experiencing racism firsthand.
Oh, really?
People saying very nasty, profane language, telling us to go back to where we're from. At
Why?
the same time, we were hearing about food insecurity and our elderly also being violently attacked the same time last year.
Despite this
This is so crazy. They keep saying go back to where you came from. Why don't they go back to where they came from? You know, I mean, they invaded the US in the first place, right? Indians used to live there, roam free all over the country. Millions died because of that invasion, immigration from Europe, right? Yeah, I know I'm white, but I still have the right to say it. And I tell you, I've been on a reservation with the Blackfeet Indians, and they are some of the nicest people I've ever met. So amazing. Actually, they remind me a lot about the Filipinos. They are so generous, they are family oriented, and just happy people. Never seen anything like that before.
stereotype that Asian Americans are flourishing economically, Asians are experiencing record unemployment and hunger. In New York City,
Oh, man.
almost 1 out of 4 Asians were
Really?
unemployed in 2020, and
my
businesses
goodness.
in Chinatown have been suffering.
Yeah.
So we decided to counter all of that negativity and
Okay.
hatred with love. And
Yes.
how do we express love in the Asian culture? Many times it's through food.
That's true, no?
Mrs.
What I like
and Mr. Lee say they
is-
only go out once a month because they're scared. To them, these bags mean much more than a hearty meal.
Well, what I really like is that Asians come together like this. No, I don't think that could happen in many other societies. They really come together. They support each other. They help each other. You know, and especially through food. I like that idea. I really like that because this is really somewhere where people can get together and they can talk, and it is a very sincere form of help. And we really need to see this. But somehow we need to educate the people of the US that it's okay to look different, that it's okay to be different. I thought it was a democracy where everybody should live happily, but it doesn't seem to be like that.
我们两个好孤独的，所以我的心里很不高兴。我一想到他们， 我的心里放下一点。
对他们志愿者要说什么？有什么信息吗？
Mm.
他呢，每次来撞我的心里，
Ah, yeah.
辅导。
I can understand that. It's a mental therapy at the same time that they see somebody because they're afraid to go out. I get that.
什么
Yeah.
我都跟他讲。
The elder.
So,
huh?
what can the government do to protect those like Mr.
Yes.
and Mrs. Lee? President Biden signed a memorandum condemning anti-Asian hate,
Okay.
but Asian lawmakers say there is
That's
more
not enough.
to be done.
We immediately asked for a meeting with
Okay.
the Department of Justice. We want to talk to look for ways to better prosecute such crimes.
Yes.
In addition, we are pushing the No Hate Act.
Okay.
The No Hate Act improves the hate crime reporting in the country.
As of now,
Oh, that's
lawmakers
Noel.
say it's rare these attacks are prosecuted as hate crimes, as it's difficult to prove racist intent. The suspect in Noel's
he's
case has been
black?
arrested and charged with assault.
That's even more
Yet Noel
strange.
is moving onward, starting with acceptance.
Do you think you can forgive him for what he did?
Oh, yes.
You can forgive him.
Yeah, everybody deserves forgiveness. Yeah.
Everybody deserves
Whatever
forgiveness. Yeah.
hardships or grievances that he had in the past, he has to forgo it and
Wow.
live a peaceful life,
He's so forgiving, this guy,
and he
huh?
would be happy.
Wow.
What does this scar mean to you right now?
To me, it's maybe it
All the way,
will
huh?
give me something to strengthen me. That you live that you go on living and not feel sorry about for yourself.
Some of the perpetrators
Oh my
and
God,
suspects
look
in
at
recent
that.
attacks against Asians have been identified as black, which has
Why?
sparked conversations
Why?
about anti-blackness among Asian Americans.
This is
Tensions
crazy.
between the two marginalized communities
Yeah, I remember this. This was in 1992, where there was a lot of violence in Los Angeles between Koreans and the black community. No, I was in Thailand that time, I remember, and this was an awful time. I don't know why would two minorities fight against each other? This doesn't make sense to me, you know.
date back decades. Conflicts peaked in 1992
Yeah.
when around 2,000 Korean-owned businesses were burned
Ah,
and looted in the aftermath of the police beating of Rodney
Oh yeah,
King.
Rodney King. Yeah, right. Okay.
Tensions between the groups had been festering after a Korean shop owner fatally shot a 15-year-old black girl in
That's
the
also
same
sad.
month.
What is contributing to this kind of tension is the false stereotype that Asian Americans are a mono minority
Okay.
and that they're better off than others.
Yet leaders from the Black Lives Matter movement have been quick to decry the violence against Asian Americans.
Good.
We cannot
Good.
give into hating each other. We cannot give into
You need to
dividing each
stand
other.
together.
We need to be a unified front.
We
Yes.
have to rely on our neighbors and our
Correct.
friends to stand up for us when injustices are happening. As many Asians have come out to support, like, Black Lives Matter, like that have historically fought together side by side for many of the civil rights that we enjoy.
Noel is joining the movement
This
as
is
well,
unbelievable.
sharing his story, hoping
good
to
for him.
prevent another tragedy.
Yes.
I never knew that nobody would help me in this.
Yeah, nobody
kind of
helped him.
instance.
It's unbelievable.
I hope that there should be an awareness.
Yes.
Many Asian Americans say their trauma has been rendered invisible, their voices often unheard in the face of systemic racism. But
Really?
times are changing.
我们够了. This means we've had enough.
Yes.
We're a force to be reckoned
It's
with,
enough.
and that we care, and that this is a
cannot be,
movement
man.
we're invested in sustaining.
This march is about unity. I want to bring awareness to the fact that we are here for the same fight. The fight to end systemic racism.
Asian Americans just tend to get erased as a whole in the country. We still have a common enemy. The common enemy is racism.
Justice for Asians! Justice for Asians!
God, I don't even know what to say. This is breaking my heart. This is unbelievable. How can anybody do this to Noel, to an 84-year-old man from Thailand? I don't know what to say, guys. I find this is incredible. This is unbelievable in a modern society that we live in today, especially with the US always talking about human rights all over the world. How can that happen in the US? What do you guys think about this? I mean, there's so many Filipinos living in America, and I'm sure that there's more of them experiencing things like Noel. Hopefully they don't get cut like Noel. But if ever you or your family or your friend will be attacked, please immediately report it to the embassy in New York. The Filipino embassy is in New York. And you need to stand together. You need to fight this. You are the backbone of the American society. Without the Asians, without the Filipinos right now, what would America do? Their entire hospital system would collapse, basically. Not only the hospital system, but many other businesses depend on foreigners living in America. This is just incredible. I don't know what to say, guys. Just leave me a comment and tell me what do you think. I'm just... yeah. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click that subscribe button and of course the bell button so you'll be notified when we have new videos for you.